Welcome to Nocturnal Knowledge. Today, we're exploring I Will Teach You to Be Rich by Ramit Sethi. Settle in as we journey through the complete text. If you enjoy this exploration, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more deep dives into the world's most influential books. Our journey begins now. The similarities between money and food. So we've laid the groundwork. We're embarking on a journey to master personal finance, to build a rich life, not just a fat bank account. Ramit Sethi argues that understanding money is surprisingly similar to understanding food, and that the reasons we struggle with both are remarkably alike. Think about it. How many of us meticulously track our calorie intake? Probably very few. And yet we often consume far more than we realize. Sethi says, when it comes to food, when it comes to personal finance, we don't track calorie intake, don't track spending. Eat more than we know, spend more than we realize or admit. Debate minutiae about calories, diets, and workouts. Debate minutiae about interest rates and hot stocks. Value anecdotal advice over research. Listen to friends, our parents, and TV talking heads instead of reading a few good personal finance books. He highlights the common trap of debating minutiae, getting bogged down in the small details, the specific type of carb, the exact interest rate on a savings account, instead of focusing on the big wins. This analysis paralysis, as Sethi calls it, leads to inaction. We spend hours discussing the finer points of various investment strategies, yet we fail to take the crucial first step, opening an account and starting to invest. This echoes our approach to food choices. Faced with endless dietary options, we often end up making no choice at all. The solution, according to Sethi, is action over endless debate. Let the fools debate the details, he urges. He emphasizes the importance of taking small, manageable steps. Just as you don't have to be a certified nutritionist to lose weight or an automotive engineer to drive a car, you don't have to know everything about personal finance to be rich. The key is to cut through the noise, identify the big wins, automating your finances, paying off debt, starting to invest, and simply get started. Delaying action, caught in the cycle of endless research and analysis, is the biggest mistake. The sooner you begin, the sooner you reap the rewards of compound interest, a principle Sethi highlights as mankind's greatest invention. He provides compelling examples of readers who achieved remarkable financial success by starting small and staying consistent, illustrating the power of taking that initial step. Avoiding analysis paralysis and embracing action, just like choosing a healthy eating plan and sticking to it, is the foundation of building a rich life. Common excuses for not managing money. We've just seen how similar managing money is to managing our diet. Both involve knowing the basics, avoiding information overload, and ultimately taking action. But many people avoid managing their money altogether, using various excuses to justify their inaction. Let's explore some of the most common. One common excuse is information overload. The sheer volume of advice available online, articles on stocks, 401ks, Roth IRAs, insurance, and international investing can be paralyzing. As Barry Schwartz points out in The Paradox of Choice, Why More is Less? As the number of mutual funds in a 401k plan offered to employees goes up, the likelihood that they will choose a fund, any fund, goes down. This leads to decision paralysis, where we end up doing nothing,
which is often the worst possible outcome. The key is to remember that starting early, even with a small amount, is more crucial than perfect knowledge. Ramit emphasizes that investing 85% correctly is far better than not investing at all. He illustrates this with the example of Smart Sally versus Dumb Dan. Smart Sally, despite investing for a shorter period and less money, ends up with significantly more because she started earlier. This highlights the power of compound interest and the importance of overcoming procrastination. Another excuse often cited is a victim mentality. Many young people feel powerless, blaming societal issues, economic downturns, or even previous generations for their financial struggles. Ramit challenges this mindset directly, stating, "You're not a victim, you're in control." He counters the excuse of low income by presenting examples of people in seemingly disadvantaged circumstances who achieved remarkable financial success. He calls out the LOL cynicism surrounding personal finance, showing how this attitude only serves to perpetuate the cycle of inaction. He emphasizes taking ownership and focusing on what can be controlled, just like he did with improving his own spelling abilities, building his business, and improving himself in dating situations by pushing through his struggles. He argues that while socioeconomic factors and luck matter, focusing on what can be controlled is vital to breaking the cycle of negativity. Finally, fear and procrastination play a huge role. Fear of losing money is a valid concern, especially after major economic downturns. However, Ramit argues that this fear shouldn't be an excuse for inaction. He stresses the importance of taking a long-term view, understanding that market fluctuations are normal, and that well-diversified investment strategies are relatively low risk over time. He encourages overcoming the fear and taking small steps toward financial independence through an automatic system for savings and investment. This not only reduces the chances of a large amount of loss at once, but also makes the task more manageable, reducing the overwhelming sense of needing to know it all before starting. The goal is to move beyond the feelings of helplessness and build confidence to start, recognizing progress along the way. Defining your rich life. So, we've just looked at the common excuses people use to avoid managing their money, the info glut, the victim mentality, and the all-too-easy path of blaming external forces. But the truth is, you're not a victim. You're in control. And that control starts with defining what a rich life truly means to you. It's a crucial step, far beyond simply accumulating a large bank balance. Ramit Sethi emphasizes that rich isn't just about money. It's about what money allows you to do. It's about freedom. It's about aligning your finances with your values, not with societal expectations. He encourages us to move beyond the superficial measures of success imposed by culture. Forget the pressure to own a big house, a fancy car, or keep up with the Joneses. What truly matters to you? What brings you joy and fulfillment? Is it the ability to travel extensively? To spend lavishly on experiences you cherish, like fine dining or a specific hobby? To support your family with financial security? To finally quit that soul-crushing job and pursue your passions? The answers are profoundly personal. Consider the real-life examples Sethi shares. Steve Adcock, who retired early to pursue adventure. Ariel Stewart, who prioritized his kids and hobbies after becoming debt-free. Ross Fletcher, who built substantial wealth through automation. These individuals didn't just achieve financial success, they defined their rich life
and built their systems to achieve it. Their experiences highlight the power of personalizing financial goals and the crucial link between financial well-being and overall life satisfaction. This process of defining your rich life requires introspection and honesty. It involves identifying your core values and prioritizing them in your spending. Sethi encourages specificity. Don't just aim for a better life. Specify what that looks like. Do you want to be able to attend a Broadway show every quarter? To always buy that book you've been eyeing? To upgrade your morning coffee from a drip to a latte every day? These seemingly small things, when viewed in the context of your larger goals, become powerful indicators of your values and drivers for your financial decisions. By understanding your own values, you can then craft a financial strategy that truly supports your vision of a rich life. A life driven by your unique priorities and not dictated by societal pressures or fleeting trends. You will begin to actively use your money, not just manage it. That is the path to true richness.
Understanding credit scores and reports. Having explored the blueprint for your rich life, we now delve into the practical steps to build that foundation. This begins with understanding your credit, a crucial element often overlooked, but capable of saving you tens of thousands of dollars. Your credit history, as Ramit Sethi explains, consists of two key parts: your credit report and your credit score. Your credit report is a detailed record of your financial behavior, tracking credit accounts, payment history, loan amounts, and credit inquiries. Think of it as your financial transcript. Your credit score, often a FICO score, is a single numerical representation, 300 to 850, of your credit worthiness, summarizing the information in your report for lenders. A higher score means lower interest rates on loans, ultimately saving you significant money. Ramit emphasizes checking both your report annually for free at annualcreditreport.com and your score. He recommends myfico.com for accuracy regularly. Sethi highlights the importance of a good credit score. It significantly reduces your perceived risk to lenders. He uses the stark example of a $200,000 30-year mortgage, showcasing the thousands of dollars saved in interest over the life of the loan with a higher credit score. This illustrates a big win, as he calls it, a simple action with disproportionately positive results. The book then focuses on credit cards, often a source of both anxiety and significant rewards. Ramit challenges the common fear-mongering surrounding credit cards, arguing that used responsibly, they can be powerful tools for building credit and obtaining substantial perks. He stresses the importance of paying your credit card bill in full and on time to maintain a high credit score, emphasizing that your payment history constitutes a whopping 35% of your credit score. Ramit outlines the 6 commandments of credit cards: regularly paying off your balance in full, negotiating fee waivers, negotiating lower APRs, maintaining long-term accounts, strategically increasing your credit limit only if debt-free, and leveraging secret perks like automatic warranty extensions and rental car insurance. He provides scripts for successfully negotiating with credit card companies, emphasizing a confident, assertive approach. The discussion then shifts to the impact of debt, particularly credit card and student loan debt. Ramit acknowledges the emotional burden of debt and introduces the concept of invisible money scripts, unconscious beliefs about money that often hinder progress. He offers practical strategies for aggressively paying down debt,
emphasizing that even small increases in monthly payments can drastically shorten repayment timelines. He provides two common methods for tackling multiple debts: the snowball method, starting with the smallest balance, and the standard method, starting with the highest APR. The chapter concludes by outlining 5 steps to eliminate credit card debt: calculating the total debt, prioritizing which debts to pay off first, negotiating lower APRs, identifying additional income streams, negotiating raises, freelance work, and finally, taking immediate action. Ramit stresses that starting, even imperfectly, is far better than inaction. The importance of focusing on big wins, those significant adjustments that yield the largest impact rather than minor cost-cutting measures, is repeatedly underscored. By understanding and implementing these principles, Ramit asserts that you can transform your relationship with money from one of anxiety and guilt to one of control and conscious prosperity. So we've just explored the crucial elements of understanding your credit score and report. Now, let's shift our focus to actively leveraging that knowledge to negotiate with credit card companies. This is where you move from passively accepting what the credit card companies offer to actively shaping your relationship with them, turning the tables in your favor. Think of it like Raj, the Indian from your neighborhood, relentlessly negotiating the price of a car, not just accepting the sticker price. That's the spirit we're bringing to credit card negotiations. First, let's tackle waiving fees. These pesky annual fees and late fees are often quietly slipped into your account, but Ramit gives you a straightforward script. Simply call your credit card company, state that you'd like to confirm you aren't paying any unnecessary fees, and if they reveal a fee, politely ask for it to be waived. Frame it as a simple request, not a demand. Emphasize your history as a good customer. Remember, they want to retain you. It's astonishing how often this works. Even a seemingly small $25 gap late fee can be waived with a simple, well-executed phone call. Next, lowering your APR, or annual percentage rate, is a powerful way to save. Even if you religiously pay your balance in full each month, negotiating a lower APR is still a smart move. This shows the credit card company you're a valued, responsible customer, strengthening your credit profile. And it only takes a brief phone call. Ramit provides sample scripts which clearly outline how to approach this conversation, again, stressing your history of on-time payments and the availability of better rates from competing cards. This is about proactive engagement, not reacting to exorbitant rates. Finally, let's talk about good credit history. Remember, your credit report and score are not passive documents, they're active tools you can use to your advantage. The book highlights the key elements: payment history, a massive 35% of your score; amounts owed, your credit utilization rate; length of credit history, new credit inquiries, and the types of credit you use. A high credit score translates directly into significant savings over the long term, thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars on mortgages and car loans alone. The book emphasizes that good credit is not just about avoiding debt, but also about actively maintaining a healthy credit profile. This includes strategies such as requesting credit limit increases once you're debt-free, keeping your oldest cards active, and leveraging the often overlooked secret perks. Did you know most credit cards automatically double your warranties or provide valuable rental car insurance? These perks alone are worth the annual fee for many. It's all about the value proposition. The chapter concludes with the 5 steps to aggressively pay off debt. This isn't about guilt-tripping yourself into frugality. It's a structured approach of understanding exactly how much you owe, choosing a repayment strategy, negotiating lower APRs, sourcing the funds needed, and then simply getting started. Ramit stresses consistency and action over perfection.
Remember the stories of readers who've completely transformed their financial lives by following these exact principles. It's not magic, it's math and discipline, and it's entirely within your control. Utilizing credit card perks and rewards. So, we've just covered the art of negotiating with credit card companies. Now let's shift our focus to something equally powerful, leveraging those same credit cards for maximum rewards and perks. Ramit argues that credit cards, properly managed, aren't the enemy. They're a tool, a potentially lucrative one at that. He emphasizes that they offer far more than just the ability to make purchases. They are avenues to significant financial gains. Think of them not as something to be avoided, but as a weapon in your arsenal to accelerate your rich life. One of the first steps is understanding rewards programs. Ramit advocates for focusing on straightforward cash-back programs, citing their simplicity and the availability of excellent cards offering substantial returns. He highlights that for high spenders, the rewards frequently outweigh annual fees, encouraging a quick calculation to assess the value proposition. He cautions against automatically accepting mail-in offers or those tempting retail store cards, calling them predatory, and urging readers to be far more discerning. He suggests using websites like bankrate.com to compare and contrast the best options available. Beyond the obvious rewards, Ramit unveils the often overlooked secret perks. These include automatic warranty extensions, doubling the manufacturer's warranty on many purchases, free rental car insurance, eliminating the need for pricey supplemental insurance from the rental company, and even trip cancellation insurance that can cover hefty rebooking fees in case of unforeseen circumstances. He shares a personal anecdote about utilizing credit card points for a lavish, entirely free 3-night stay at a 7-star desert resort. He advocates for using credit cards for significant purchases, emphasizing the benefits of these built-in consumer protections. He even mentions leveraging concierge services to secure otherwise impossible-to-get tickets. The book lays out the 6 commandments of credit cards, emphasizing the importance of consistent, on-time payments to maintain a strong credit score. This isn't just about avoiding late fees. It's about maximizing your credit worthiness for future loans, saving potentially thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars on interest over the life of a mortgage or auto loan. Ramit encourages readers to actively negotiate lower APRs and fee waivers, providing sample scripts to empower them in these conversations with credit card companies. He highlights the importance of keeping cards active but also managing the number of cards to avoid unnecessary complexity. Finally, the chapter addresses the often fraught topic of debt, specifically credit card and student loan debt. Ramit acknowledges the emotional weight of debt and introduces the concept of invisible money scripts, unconscious beliefs about money that can hinder progress. He outlines clear strategies for aggressively paying off debt, emphasizing that knowing the exact amount owed and having a concrete payoff date is crucial. He advocates for a strategic approach, focusing on high-interest debt first or using the snowball method to prioritize smaller debts for psychological motivation. The chapter concludes by providing 5 actionable steps to help readers regain control of their finances and escape the cycle of debt, ultimately paving the way for a more financially secure and fulfilling future.
Addressing credit card debt. So, we've just covered maximizing the perks and rewards of your credit cards. A fantastic way to make your money work for you, right? Now, let's tackle the flip side, dealing with credit card debt. Because, let's be honest, even the most savvy credit card user can sometimes find themselves facing a balance. The book doesn't shy away from this reality. In fact, it dives deep into strategies to not just survive, but thrive, even in the face of debt. Ramit Sethi emphasizes that overcoming credit card debt isn't just about numbers. It's about conquering the psychology behind our relationship with money. He introduces the concept of invisible money scripts, those unconscious beliefs we've absorbed about money over the years, often without even realizing it. These scripts can manifest as rationalizations like, "It's not that bad, everyone has debt," or the dangerous, "Paying interest is just like any other fee." These aren't just excuses, they're deeply ingrained patterns that can hinder progress. The book lays out two primary debt payoff strategies: the snowball method and the avalanche method. The snowball method, popularized by Dave Ramsey, focuses on paying off the smallest debt first, regardless of interest rate. This approach prioritizes the psychological boost of quick wins to maintain motivation. The avalanche method, on the other hand, prioritizes paying off the debt with the highest interest rate first, a more mathematically efficient approach. Sethi advises not to get bogged down in choosing the perfect method. The key is to choose a method and start paying down your debt. A crucial element in breaking free from debt is negotiation. The book provides scripts for negotiating lower interest rates with your credit card company, emphasizing a confident but polite approach. It's about leveraging your good payment history, becoming a deadbeat customer in the eyes of credit card companies, to your advantage. The author shares countless success stories from readers who used this strategy to slash their interest rates and accelerate debt repayment. One reader, for example, negotiated a $175 monthly reduction in apartment rent by offering a long-term lease. Another reduced their student loan interest rates and saved over $10,000. These aren't isolated incidents. They illustrate the power of proactive negotiation. Finally, Sethi stresses the importance of addressing the emotional side of debt. The fear, guilt, and shame associated with debt can be paralyzing, leading to avoidance and further accumulation of debt. By creating a realistic plan, acknowledging the problem, and taking concrete steps toward repayment, even small ones, you can regain control and break the cycle. He encourages readers to calculate their total debt, choose a payoff strategy, negotiate lower interest rates, and most importantly, start. Even a small, consistent extra payment can significantly reduce the time it takes to become debt-free, freeing you up to pursue your rich life. Choosing the right bank accounts. Having just navigated the sometimes rocky terrain of credit card debt, we now turn our attention to another crucial foundation of your financial well-being, your bank accounts. Ramit Sethi emphasizes that the accounts you choose are not just passive holding places for your money, but active tools in building wealth. He argues that many people unknowingly stick with terrible bank accounts, costing themselves significant sums in hidden fees and lost interest. Sethi advocates for opening a no-fee checking account and high-yield savings account. He doesn't shy away from the fact that many banks utilize deceptive marketing tactics to lure customers into paying for unnecessary services. 5 marketing tactics banks use to trick you are discussed, highlighting teaser rates, minimum balance requirements for free services, upsells to expensive accounts, the false claim that no-fee accounts no longer exist, and the push to bundle credit cards with accounts. He urges us to be wary of these manipulative strategies, stressing the importance of carefully reading terms and conditions and actively negotiating fees. He provides a direct quote, emphasizing the impact of one overdraft fee. Just one overdraft fee equals 3 times that amount, which underscores the need to avoid such charges by using a well-structured automatic system. He doesn't mince words when discussing the banks he considers subpar, mentioning Bank of America and Wells Fargo, and advocating for more trustworthy alternatives. He highlights how these banks profit from overdraft fees and fees on services customers often don't need, and makes the case for switching to a reputable institution that offers checking and savings accounts that clearly avoid those costly traps. The author stresses the importance of direct deposit and maintaining adequate funds to avoid overdraft situations, which can cause a cascade of costly fees. Sethi details the crucial difference between checking and savings accounts and the psychological advantages of maintaining them both separately, even for those starting with modest sums. He stresses that the relatively low interest earned in savings accounts is far less important than the habit of consistent saving, emphasizing the macro over the micro. He uses the analogy of an email inbox, explaining that the checking account is the place where money arrives, then gets automatically routed to its destination, savings and investments. Ramit goes on to detail the accounts he personally uses, including a Schwab high-yield checking account with ATM fee reimbursement and the Capital One 360 savings account, which allows for the creation of sub-accounts for various savings goals. He uses this as an example of a system that is both simple and effective, requiring minimal effort for maximum results. He acknowledges other options, such as Ally Online Savings, but he emphasizes the importance of choosing an account that aligns with the user's personal preference for simplicity or optimization. He emphasizes the importance of negotiating with banks to waive fees or secure better interest rates. He gives examples of how he uses his negotiating prowess, often emphasizing the use of phrases like, "I'd rather pay no fees," and presenting facts such as, "I've been a customer for 4 years and I'd hate for this one fee to drive me away from your service," to gain leverage. The chapter concludes by emphasizing the importance of not becoming a rate chaser, continuously switching banks for marginal gains in interest rates. He highlights that long-term relationships with trustworthy institutions, coupled with an efficient automatic system, will yield far greater returns than spending hours chasing minimal interest rate differences. He encourages his listeners to prioritize ease of use and trust over minor interest rate fluctuations, concluding with a strong call to action to optimize their bank accounts and lay a solid financial foundation for future growth.
Negotiating bank fees. Now that we've explored choosing the right bank accounts, let's delve into the crucial skill of negotiating bank fees. This isn't about passively accepting whatever charges your bank throws at you. It's about proactively taking control and securing better terms. Ramit emphasizes that banks often prey on average customers who are unwilling to switch or negotiate. He uses the analogy of his father's relentless haggling for a car, highlighting the power of assertive negotiation even for seemingly small amounts. Remember, those seemingly insignificant fees add up. In 2017, banks made over $34 billion from overdraft fees alone. One key area to target is overdraft fees. Ramit provides a script to successfully negotiate these fees. The core strategy revolves around politeness, but with unwavering firmness. You shouldn't ask, "Can you waive this fee?" but instead confidently state, "I'd like to have this fee waived." He emphasizes the importance of framing the request around your long-term relationship with the bank and emphasizing that your status as a valued customer, emphasizing that the bank's customer acquisition costs are high. Beyond overdraft fees, Ramit advocates for lowering APRs on your credit cards. While this might not matter if you consistently pay your balance in full, the negotiation itself is a valuable exercise in asserting control. The book offers a sample script to employ when requesting a lower APR, leveraging your good payment history and the competitive landscape of the credit card market. Finally, remember that many bank fees are negotiable. Ramit urges readers to be proactive, calling their banks to confirm they're not paying any unnecessary fees, annual fees, maintenance fees, etc., and to confidently request waivers. This proactive approach, exemplified by Ramit's own experience and the countless stories from readers who successfully negotiated fee reductions, showcases that a simple phone call can save you considerable money over time. Don't be afraid to politely but firmly push back against unfair fees. It's your money and you're entitled to better terms. The key is to remember that banks, like any business, are motivated to retain their profitable customers. Arm yourself with the knowledge from this chapter and turn the tables on those potentially excessive fees.
The importance of a separate savings account. Now that we've navigated the often tricky world of negotiating bank fees, let's shift our focus to another crucial element of building wealth: the power of a separate savings account. Ramit emphasizes that this isn't just about accumulating interest. It's a strategic move that delivers significant psychological and practical benefits. The book highlights the importance of goal-oriented saving. Instead of a single, amorphous savings pot, Ramit advocates for creating sub-accounts dedicated to specific goals. Think of it like this. You wouldn't mix all your groceries in one bag, would you? You separate your produce from your dairy and your meats from your frozen foods. Similarly, separating your savings into different accounts dedicated to specific goals helps you visualize your progress and stay motivated. Each sub-account represents a tangible step toward a desired outcome, making the entire process less overwhelming and more rewarding. This separation also provides vital psychological benefits. By visually separating your savings, you create a distinct psychological distance between your spending money and your long-term goals. This prevents the temptation to dip into your savings for impulsive purchases. Seeing that money allocated to a particular goal sitting untouched in its own account is a powerful visual reminder of your commitment and progress. It reinforces your focus and motivates you to stick to your plan. Many readers have shared incredibly moving stories of how this simple strategy has transformed their relationship with money. They describe a shift from constant anxiety and guilt about spending to a sense of calm and control. Ramit quotes one reader who says, "I used the advice from IWT to set up my Schwab IRA, a personal investment account, and a checking account prior to starting my first job when I was 24. I'm now 30 and have over $300K saved." This kind of success isn't an anomaly. It's a direct result of implementing the principles outlined in the book, starting with the strategic use of separate savings accounts. Ramit suggests using online banks like Capital One 360, which allows you to create these sub-accounts effortlessly within their online platform. This makes it incredibly convenient to track progress toward each goal, adding another layer to the motivational aspect of the system.
The ease of setting up and managing these accounts contributes to the overall simplicity and effectiveness of Ramit's approach, making it accessible to everyone, regardless of their financial background or experience. By separating and visualizing your savings, you're not just saving money, you're cultivating a powerful mindset that empowers you to achieve your financial goals. Understanding the ladder of personal finance. Now that we've established the importance of a separate savings account, let's climb the next rung of the ladder, understanding how to prioritize your finances for optimal growth. Ramit lays out a clear, step-by-step process, a ladder of personal finance, guiding you toward financial security. This isn't about sacrificing everything. It's about strategic allocation. First, he emphasizes the importance of maximizing your employer's 401k match. This is essentially free money. Ramit urges you to contribute at least enough to get the full company match, highlighting that many people miss out on this significant opportunity, literally leaving thousands of dollars on the table each year. He states that this is the single most effective way to gain wealth early on in your financial career. Next, the book stresses the criticality of tackling debt before you dive into investing. As Ramit explains, high-interest credit card debt and even high-interest student loan debt eats away at your potential returns, making it much less beneficial to invest when you have high-interest debt hanging over you. Think of it like trying to fill a leaky bucket. You'll pour in money only for it to constantly drain away. Prioritize paying down that debt aggressively before you invest significant funds elsewhere. He offers detailed strategies for aggressively managing and paying down debt. Finally, Ramit champions the power of Roth IRAs. He describes them as a beautiful instrument for long-term growth, emphasizing that contributing to your Roth IRA as much as possible should be one of your key priorities. The significant tax advantages of Roth IRAs, where your earnings grow tax-free, make them a powerful tool for wealth accumulation. He goes into the specifics of opening a Roth IRA and maximizing contributions, emphasizing that even small contributions consistently made add up significantly over time. The ladder of personal finance isn't just a list, it's a strategic plan. By following this sequence, maximizing 401k matches, crushing debt, then maximizing Roth IRAs, you build a solid financial foundation for long-term growth. Remember, it's a journey, and each step brings you closer to your rich life. A life designed according to your values and priorities. Roth IRAs and 401ks, tax advantages. So we've just covered the ladder of personal finance, a powerful framework for prioritizing your financial journey. Now, let's climb that ladder, starting with a deep dive into the tax advantages of Roth IRAs and 401ks. These accounts are instrumental in building long-term wealth, and understanding their nuances is crucial. First, let's clarify the difference between tax-deferred and tax-free growth. A 401k utilizes tax-deferred growth. This means you contribute pre-tax dollars, reducing your taxable income for the year. You don't pay taxes on the money until you withdraw it in retirement. Think of it like this. You're essentially getting an advance on your tax break. You're investing more money now because the tax burden is delayed. In contrast, a Roth IRA offers tax-free growth. You contribute after-tax dollars, but all investment earnings are tax-free when you withdraw them in retirement. The initial contribution is taxed, but the future gains aren't. It's like paying your taxes up front to enjoy completely tax-free growth later. It's a powerful incentive for long-term investment. Next, we need to understand contribution limits. Both a Roth IRA and 401k have annual contribution limits set by the government.
These limits change yearly, so it's essential to stay updated by searching online for Roth IRA contribution limits and 401k contribution limits. Knowing these limits is vital for maximizing your tax advantages and achieving your savings goals. Ramit emphasizes contributing as much as you can, even if it's a smaller amount to begin. He stresses the importance of starting early, showcasing how Smart Sally outperforms Dumb Dan significantly despite investing for a shorter period simply by starting earlier. Remember, the sooner you start, the more significant the impact of compound interest. Finally, let's explore rollover options. What happens if you change jobs or need to access your funds? With 401ks, you typically have the option to roll over your funds into a new employer's 401k plan, or preferably into an IRA. Rolling it over to an IRA gives you greater control over your investments and simplifies things. This rollover process might seem a little complicated, but the benefits are substantial. If you change jobs, don't make the mistake of cashing out your 401k. You will incur significant penalties. Always aim for a tax-advantaged transfer, either by rolling into another 401k or an IRA. Ramit advocates for rolling over to an IRA due to the greater investment choices available. This demonstrates the importance of understanding your options and planning for long-term growth, rather than simply reacting to immediate circumstances. He emphasizes that maximizing these tax-advantaged accounts is a crucial component of building lasting wealth. The author repeatedly emphasizes the importance of starting early and consistently contributing, illustrating through several readers' success stories how seemingly small, consistent actions translate into substantial long-term wealth.
Choosing investment vehicles, index funds, target date funds. Now that we've established the tax advantages of Roth IRAs and 401ks, let's delve into the next crucial step, choosing the right investment vehicles. Ramit emphasizes the importance of moving beyond the overwhelming amount of information available and focusing on a few key strategies. He argues that getting started is more important than becoming an expert, advocating for an 85% solution, where you aim for a good enough system rather than striving for unattainable perfection. This leads us directly to the core of investing: passive versus active management. Ramit pulls no punches, declaring that most actively managed mutual funds fail to outperform the market. He cites studies showing that a staggering 75% of the time, fund managers across the board still fail to beat the market. He highlights the hidden costs. Mutual funds typically charge 1 to 2% of assets managed each year, a seemingly small fee that, over time, drastically erodes returns. He uses the analogy of a $10,000 investment in a mutual fund versus an index fund with much lower fees to illustrate how these small percentages compound to massive differences over 25 years, accumulating thousands of dollars in extra fees in the actively managed fund. This is where Ramit introduces index funds as a superior alternative. He explains that index funds use passive management, essentially mirroring the performance of a specific market index like the S&P 500. This approach significantly reduces expenses, as there is no need for expensive portfolio managers actively picking stocks. The benefit of lower fees is made clear in comparative charts detailing the dramatic difference in overall returns after 25 years between a low-cost index fund and a higher-cost actively managed mutual fund. John Bogle's stark example, cited by Ramit, reveals how even a 2% difference in fees over 50 years can result in a 63% reduction in potential returns, a staggering loss. Ramit acknowledges that while some actively managed funds might exceptionally outperform in specific years, this is statistically unreliable in the long run. He stresses the importance of a long-term perspective, focusing on time in the market, not timing the market.
He advises against trying to predict market fluctuations and instead recommends consistent automatic investing. He reinforces this by mentioning that even missing the 10 best days of market performance can drastically reduce your overall returns. This section is punctuated with real examples of reader success using the automated index fund approach, highlighting its power for sustained financial growth. For those seeking even greater simplicity, Ramit champions target date funds. He describes them as funds of funds, automatically diversifying your investments based on your planned retirement year. These funds adjust their asset allocation, the mix of stocks and bonds, over time, becoming more conservative as your retirement date approaches. This eliminates the need for you to manually rebalance your portfolio, making it the ultimate hands-off investment strategy. He positions target date funds as the perfect solution for those who prioritize ease of convenience over potentially slightly higher returns from a customized portfolio. The ease of use is presented as a significant advantage, outweighing potential minor differences in return, and thereby serving as the ideal 85% solution for those who may lack the time or inclination to manage a more complex portfolio. He emphasizes that even owning a single target date fund is significantly better than not investing at all. Ramit then meticulously guides the listener through the practical steps of choosing and purchasing both target date and index funds, including tips on managing minimum investment requirements, automating contributions, and understanding the importance of asset allocation. The chapter concludes by emphasizing that a well-structured investment plan, implemented through the chosen method, is far more crucial than attempting to time the market or pick individual winning stocks. Creating a conscious spending plan. Having just navigated the world of investment vehicles, we now shift our focus to a crucial element of building wealth: conscious spending. Ramit Sethi argues that frugality isn't about deprivation, but about strategic spending, extravagantly on what you love, and mercilessly cutting costs on what you don't. This isn't about tracking every latte. It's about a conscious plan to maximize your financial freedom. The core of this strategy is the 4 buckets approach. These are 4 distinct categories for your spending: fixed costs, investments, savings, and guilt-free spending money. Let's examine each. Fixed costs encompass essential expenses like rent, utilities, debt payments such as student loans and credit cards, and insurance. Sethi suggests allocating 50 to 60% of your take-home pay to these necessities. It's crucial to meticulously account for these. Don't underestimate hidden costs or forget about recurring bills. He provides a helpful framework to accurately assess your fixed costs and emphasizes adding a buffer, perhaps 15%, to account for unexpected expenses. Ignoring these could lead to painful surprises and overspending. The investments bucket is where your long-term growth happens. Sethi recommends dedicating at least 10% of your take-home pay to investments, such as 401ks and Roth IRAs. He emphasizes the importance of employer matching in 401ks, calling it free money you absolutely should claim. He uses Smart Sally and Dumb Dan to highlight the power of compounding and consistent early investment, showcasing how Smart Sally, despite investing less overall, outperforms Dumb Dan significantly by starting early. He highlights a key message of I Will Teach You to Be Rich. The single most important thing you can do to be rich is to start early. This strategy isn't about trying to pick the hottest stock, but about building a sound, sustainable system that prioritizes growth over fast returns. Savings goals form the 3rd bucket. This isn't just for emergencies, it's for all your financial aspirations. Think vacations, down payment on a house, or planned large purchases like weddings. Sethi recommends dedicating 5 to 10% of your take-home pay to this bucket, recommending creating sub-accounts within your savings account to track each goal. He provides calculations to show how saving even small amounts consistently, for example, for a wedding, can prevent massive debt later. This proactive approach shifts your mindset from reactive spending to intentional planning. Finally, the guilt-free spending money bucket covers discretionary spending. This is for the things you truly enjoy: eating out, entertainment, clothes, etc. Sethi suggests allocating 20 to 35% of your take-home pay here. The beauty of this system is that by prioritizing the other three buckets, you can spend guilt-free, knowing you've already met your financial obligations and goals. This isn't about eliminating enjoyment, but about conscious choice and spending extravagantly on things you value. He illustrates this with anecdotes of friends who spend significant amounts on travel, dining out, or clothes, all while maintaining healthy savings and investment habits due to their conscious spending strategies. The 80-20 rule, or Pareto principle, is invaluable in optimizing your conscious spending plan. Sethi suggests that 80% of your overspending often stems from just 20% of your expenses. Identifying those key areas, his examples include dining out, travel, and clothing, allows for targeted adjustments rather than across-the-board cuts, resulting in more significant and sustainable savings. He highlights the importance of focusing on these big wins instead of smaller, less impactful changes. The aim is to create a system that is both effective and sustainable, allowing you to enjoy your financial success without living in constant worry or guilt.
So, we've just mapped out a conscious spending plan, a roadmap to guide our financial decisions. But what if we could take that a step further, actually designing our spending habits to be more intentional? That's where the a la carte method comes in. It's not about deprivation, it's about strategic choices that allow us to spend extravagantly on what we truly love, while cutting mercilessly on things that don't matter. Ramit doesn't preach about foregoing lattes, he champions conscious spending. He shows how a friend guilt-free spends $21,000 annually on going out, not by being irresponsible, but by meticulously prioritizing. Remember, it's not about being cheap, it's about being conscious. The core of this method is simple. Cancel all discretionary subscriptions. Think magazines, cable, even that gym membership you rarely use. Then buy what you need a la carte. Instead of a pricey cable package, purchase individual episodes online. Instead of a monthly gym fee, opt for day passes only when you plan to go. This isn't about penny pinching, it's about forcing mindful spending habits. By actively deciding whether or not to spend $2.99 on a movie rental or $15 on a gym visit, we build awareness around every purchase. We value what we're paying for, and this directly challenges the unconscious overspending we all tend to fall prey to. Ramit highlights how we often overestimate our usage of subscriptions, gym memberships being a prime example. People routinely overestimate their gym attendance by more than 70%. This approach, however, does have a downside. It requires de-automation. It forces us to consciously engage with every single transaction, which can be a time-consuming endeavor. Ramit advises trying the a la carte method for a couple of months to gauge its impact. If it doesn't suit your lifestyle, reverting to subscriptions is perfectly acceptable. The goal isn't permanent adherence, but rather a powerful exercise to recalibrate spending and prioritize. This process will help identify areas where you are unconsciously overspending and allow you to redirect those funds toward areas that truly enrich your life. Think about my friend Lisa, who spends thousands annually on shoes, a seemingly extravagant expenditure.
but she compensates by meticulously controlling other areas of spending. She has a roommate, eats for free at work, and consciously avoids unnecessary expenses elsewhere. She's not being irresponsible, she's spending consciously, prioritizing what truly matters to her. This same conscious spending philosophy applies to my friend John, who spends an even larger sum going out each year. Again, it's not just about cutting back, but intentionally distributing funds, prioritizing experiences over material possessions, while still diligently investing and saving. This deliberate approach isn't just about saving money, it's about aligning our spending with our values. It's about understanding the difference between needs and wants and making conscious choices that support our larger goals. The a la carte method helps us achieve this, shifting the focus from reactive spending to proactive planning, empowering us to create a rich life on our own terms. Handling unexpected expenses. So, we've just conquered the a la carte method, a powerful tool for taking control of our spending. But what about those unexpected curveballs life throws our way? Unexpected expenses, car repairs, medical bills, surprise family emergencies? They can derail even the most meticulously planned finances. That's why Ramit emphasizes the importance of building a solid financial foundation capable of weathering these storms. The key, he argues, isn't frantic cost-cutting, but strategic planning and automation. The first line of defense is an emergency fund. Ramit doesn't advocate for extreme frugality, but rather for conscious spending. He encourages us to spend extravagantly on what we love, but mercilessly cut costs on things we don't. This frees up resources for essential savings. This emergency fund, he suggests, should cover 3 to 6 months of living expenses. This isn't about deprivation, it's about creating a safety net that allows us to face unexpected events without panic or debt. He shares numerous reader success stories, highlighting individuals who've used this approach to navigate unforeseen circumstances and maintain financial stability. Planning for irregular expenses is equally crucial. These aren't unexpected events, but predictable ones that occur at irregular intervals. Annual car registrations, holiday gifts, or even planned vacations. Ramit encourages us to incorporate these into our budgeting by creating separate savings accounts or sub-accounts within our savings system. By systematically setting aside a small portion of our income each month, these expenses become manageable rather than stressful surprises. This allows for guilt-free spending on these anticipated events and ensures that they don't disrupt the stability of the overall financial plan. Finally, Ramit introduces the envelope system. This isn't just for cash, it's a powerful mental model. Whether using physical envelopes or digital categories within budgeting software like You Need a Budget, YNAB, the system involves allocating a specific amount for certain spending categories each month. Once that allocated amount is spent, that's it for that category for the month. This creates a powerful psychological constraint on spending, forcing conscious choices and preventing overspending. Ramit explains how this system helps maintain discipline and reinforces the conscious spending principles previously discussed. It provides a practical framework for managing guilt-free spending money while still prioritizing savings and investments. The envelope system, he suggests, is a simple yet effective way to avoid the pitfalls of overspending and maintain a healthy financial balance even when facing unexpected or irregular expenses.
Setting up automatic money flow. Having just navigated the sometimes tricky terrain of handling unexpected expenses, we now turn our attention to a cornerstone of Ramit Sethi's system, establishing an automatic money flow. This isn't about rigid budgeting, it's about strategically directing your money where it will serve you best with minimal effort. The core idea is simple. Link your accounts, automate transfers and payments, and schedule everything for maximum efficiency. This creates a system that runs largely on autopilot, freeing you to focus on life beyond spreadsheets. First, we must connect the various parts of your financial ecosystem. This involves linking your checking and savings accounts, your investment accounts, your 401k and Roth IRA, and your credit cards. Think of your checking account as your central hub, a sort of financial inbox. Every dollar earned flows into this central account, then is automatically routed to its designated destination. Sethi emphasizes using automatic transfers to move money from your checking account to your savings and investment accounts on predetermined schedules. He encourages paying bills automatically through your credit card, ensuring timely payments and maximizing rewards. For bills that cannot be paid via credit card, such as rent, automatic payments should be established directly from your checking account. The author stresses the importance of scheduling for efficiency. He suggests consolidating bill due dates, ideally aligning them with your payday, to minimize manual intervention. This creates a streamlined, predictable flow, reducing the likelihood of missed payments and related fees. Setting up these automatic transfers requires careful planning and coordination across different account platforms, but the long-term benefits significantly outweigh the initial effort. Consider the next $100 concept. This simple mental exercise, according to Sethi, helps you prioritize how you'll allocate your next dollar. Where does that next $100 go? 60% towards fixed expenses, 10% to investments, 10% to savings, and 20% towards guilt-free spending. Once you establish these percentages, derived from your conscious spending plan from the previous chapter, you configure your accounts to automatically move the money according to your predetermined allocation. This ensures you consistently meet your financial goals without conscious effort. Ramit advocates for the power of defaults. He emphasizes exploiting our natural human tendency toward laziness. By automating your savings and investments, you make it harder to deviate from your plan. The less conscious effort required, the more likely you are to stick to your plan. This passive approach, although seemingly simple, is a powerful engine for wealth creation. He provides examples of readers who have seen significant increases in their net worth through automated savings and investment strategies. The goal is to reduce the time spent managing money to less than 90 minutes per month, a significant increase in freedom and mental bandwidth. The book also details strategies for adapting the automatic money flow system to various income patterns. For those with biweekly or irregular income, Sethi suggests slight modifications to the system, often involving creating a buffer fund to smooth out income fluctuations. This buffer fund allows for consistent contributions to savings and investments even during lean periods. Freelancers, for example, are encouraged to save a 3 to 6 month emergency fund to provide stability in months with lower income. This ensures the system functions effectively despite the variability in their cash flow. Sethi concludes this section by reiterating that the initial time investment in establishing this automated system yields significant long-term benefits, ultimately leading to a more relaxed and fulfilling financial life.
The power of defaults and automation. So we've just covered setting up automatic money flow. The next key idea builds directly on that, leveraging the power of defaults and automation to minimize manual effort and maximize long-term time savings. Ramit emphasizes that we should embrace our laziness, not fight it. He argues that most of us will simply not consistently manage our money manually, regardless of our intentions. We get busy, distracted, and frankly bored. The solution isn't to fight this natural tendency, but to use it to our advantage. Think about it. How much money do your friends lose each year by not maximizing their 401k matches? That's free money. How much time do they waste agonizing over small purchases only to blow far larger sums on impulse buys or unnecessary expenses? This is where the curve of doing more before doing less comes into play. Spending a few hours up front to set up an automated system will save you hundreds, if not thousands of hours over the course of your financial life. It's about prioritizing your time, not just your money. Ramit calls this the power of defaults. By setting up automatic transfers and payments, you essentially make it difficult not to save and invest. Your money automatically flows to the right accounts, savings, investments, and guilt-free spending, according to the plan you created in the previous chapter. This isn't about strict control, it's about using the inherent human tendency toward inertia to your advantage. It's about designing a system that works for you, not against you, recognizing your natural laziness and building it in rather than fighting it. The ultimate goal is to spend only about 90 minutes a month managing your finances. This isn't some theoretical ideal. It's completely achievable. Ramit illustrates this with the next $100 concept. He asks, where will the next $100 you earn go? Instead of passively letting that money slip away, you consciously allocate it based on your consciously planned spending, using the percentages you determined in your conscious spending plan. This is where the automation comes in, linking your accounts and setting up recurring transfers. The book details exactly how to link checking, savings, and investment accounts, ensuring that contributions to your 401k, Roth IRA, and other savings goals are automatically deducted each month. Bill payments are automated as well, using credit cards for rewards and consumer protection whenever possible, and direct transfers for the rest. This frees up your mental energy, reduces stress, and helps you avoid costly mistakes like overdrafts and late fees. Even if you have irregular income, as a freelancer might, the system adapts. The key is building a buffer, 3 to 6 months of essential living expenses to smooth out fluctuations. In high-earning months, extra funds go directly to this buffer, ensuring you can still fund your automatic investments and cover your needs during lean periods. This demonstrates the power of building a system that accounts for human unpredictability, making it resilient and adaptable to real-world complexities. It's about creating a financially stable and guilt-free life effortlessly. Managing your finances with minimal effort. Having just explored the liberating power of defaults and automation in streamlining our financial lives, we now turn to the next crucial step, managing our finances with minimal effort. Ramit Sethi emphasizes that becoming a personal finance expert isn't the goal. The goal is to create a system that works efficiently, allowing us to focus on what truly matters. This involves 3 key areas: regular account reviews, handling unexpected income, and maintaining a sufficient cash buffer. First, let's delve into the importance of regular account reviews. Sethi doesn't advocate for obsessive micromanagement, but rather a simple, efficient system. He suggests a monthly review of your credit card statements, taking only about 5 minutes to ensure accuracy and catch any errors. This proactive approach, far from being a burden, prevents larger problems down the line, such as hefty late fees or disputed charges. Remember, as Sethi highlights, a single overlooked charge can be easily rectified with a quick phone call to the credit card company, turning a potentially stressful situation into a simple task. By keeping a vigilant eye on your accounts, you're actively protecting yourself from financial setbacks that could otherwise snowball into larger issues. This is playing offense, not defense, in managing your financial life. Next, we must learn to handle unexpected income effectively. Windfalls, whether a bonus, tax return, or unexpected freelance payment, often lead to impulsive spending. Sethi proposes a strategic approach. Allocate 50% of this unexpected income towards your fun money or towards a purchase you've been wanting. The other half should be automatically invested into your growing portfolio. This disciplined approach helps maintain momentum and ensures that unexpected financial boosts are channeled towards your long-term financial goals. This is not about deprivation, but about using windfalls to augment your existing plan rather than disrupt it. This mindful approach demonstrates a conscious and strategic use of finances. Finally, the concept of a cash buffer is integral to low-effort financial management. Sethi advocates for maintaining a cash cushion in your checking account, enough to cover 1 to 2 months' worth of essential expenses, preventing the anxiety of overdraft fees and unexpected charges. This buffer acts as a safety net, providing a sense of security and allowing you to navigate unforeseen circumstances without derailing your carefully constructed system. This isn't about hoarding cash, it's about creating a stable foundation upon which your automated system can consistently function, minimizing stress and maximizing your long-term financial success. Think of it as the bedrock supporting the entire structure of your financial well-being. By implementing these 3 key strategies, regular account reviews, thoughtful management of unexpected income, and the maintenance of a healthy cash buffer, you'll have effectively constructed a low-maintenance, high-yield financial system, allowing you to truly achieve the rich life. A life driven by your values and aspirations, not the constant worry of day-to-day financial concerns.
Debunking the myth of financial expertise. Having just streamlined our finances with minimal effort, a crucial next step involves challenging the very notion of needing specialized financial expertise. The book boldly asserts that much of the advice peddled by so-called experts is not only unhelpful, but actively detrimental to our financial well-being. Ramit argues that chasing market timing, relying on active management, and succumbing to hidden fees are common pitfalls that keep us from achieving financial freedom. Let's first dissect the illusion of market timing. The book vehemently dismisses the idea that anyone, even seasoned professionals, can consistently predict market fluctuations. The author states, experts can't guess where the market is going, highlighting a study by Putnam Investments that revealed missing the 10 best investing days over 15 years could drastically reduce your returns from 7.7% to a mere 2.96%. The analogy of wine tasters unable to differentiate between identically prepared wines, even with food coloring, powerfully illustrates the fallibility of expert predictions. The focus, therefore, should shift from timing the market to maximizing time in the market. The inefficiency of active management is another key target. The book cites overwhelming statistical evidence demonstrating that actively managed mutual funds fail to outperform passively managed index funds the vast majority of the time. The author doesn't shy away from pointing out the persistent failure of fund managers to beat the market, often due to high expense ratios and frequent trading that generates unnecessary taxes. He emphasizes that a significant portion of returns are eaten away by fees, a point driven home by John Bogle's example, highlighting a 63% reduction in potential returns over 50 years due to a mere 2% difference in expense ratios. The comparison between a passively managed index fund with its low expense ratio of 0.14% and an actively managed mutual fund with a 1% expense ratio vividly demonstrates the substantial financial advantage of passive investment. Finally, the book relentlessly exposes the hidden costs and poor performance often masked by financial experts. Ramit details how companies utilize survivorship bias, highlighting only successful funds while ignoring those that have failed, creating an illusion of consistent high performance. This, coupled with the manipulative tactics of never admitting fault and employing vague terminology designed to obscure poor returns, paints a picture of an industry prioritizing profit over client well-being. The author's personal encounter with Wells Fargo Private Wealth Management, where a seemingly nominal 1% fee actually resulted in a significant reduction of potential returns, serves as a stark warning against blindly trusting such institutions. This section concludes with the powerful statement that achieving financial richness is firmly within our control, not dependent on the supposed expertise of others. We are empowered to build wealth through our own informed decisions and the careful implementation of a well-structured, automated system.
The importance of asset allocation. Having just explored the myth that financial expertise is necessary for wealth building, we now turn our attention to a cornerstone of Ramit Sethi's approach: asset allocation. Sethi emphasizes that this is far more crucial than trying to pick the best stock of the year, a game even experts frequently lose. He argues that for the average investor, consistent long-term growth is achieved through a well-structured portfolio, not through market timing or stock-picking prowess. This involves understanding diversification strategies. Sethi doesn't advocate for a complex portfolio. He pushes for simplicity and emphasizes the importance of understanding your own risk tolerance and how it changes with age. Diversification, in Sethi's view, is not simply about owning many different stocks. Instead, it's about strategically allocating your investments across different asset classes. He describes this as the difference between D for diversification, going deep within an asset class, like stocks, and A for asset allocation, spreading across classes, like stocks and bonds. This means considering the various flavors of stocks: large cap, mid cap, small cap, and international, and understanding the role of bonds in mitigating risk. Remember, higher risk generally correlates with higher potential reward, but also with greater volatility. He stresses that this allocation should change with age, emphasizing that younger investors can tolerate higher risk with a portfolio heavily weighted towards stocks, while older investors nearing retirement should shift to a more conservative approach, incorporating bonds. The book doesn't prescribe a single allocation, understanding that personal circumstances dictate the balance between stocks and bonds. A significant portion of the chapter focuses on the Swenson model of asset allocation. While Sethi doesn't advocate for blindly following it, he uses it as an example of a well-diversified approach. This model emphasizes a balanced spread of investments across various asset classes. This includes domestic equities, developed world international equities, emerging market equities, with a caveat about its higher risk, real estate investment trusts, or REITs, government bonds, and Treasury inflation-protected securities, or TIPS. The goal, Sethi stresses, isn't about perfectly replicating this model, but about understanding its principle, a balanced portfolio that reduces overall risk through diversification. It's about mitigating the impact of any single investment performing poorly by spreading the risk across multiple asset classes. Ultimately, Sethi advocates for simplicity in your investment strategy. He contrasts the active management approach of traditional mutual funds with passive management using index funds, showing how significantly higher fees can drastically impact long-term returns. He emphasizes the fact that most actively managed funds fail to beat the market over the long term, emphasizing the efficiency and low-cost nature of index funds as a superior alternative for the average investor. He strongly recommends the convenience of target date funds as a nearly effortless way to achieve diversification and a sensible asset allocation, suited for those seeking ease of use over highly customized control. The core message remains consistent. Building wealth is less about complex financial maneuvers and more about consistent, long-term investing and prudent asset allocation aligned with your risk tolerance and life stage. Maintaining and growing your financial system. Having explored the crucial role of asset allocation, we now turn to maintaining and growing the financial system you've diligently built. This isn't about constant tweaking, but about establishing a robust, self-sustaining infrastructure that works for you. Ramit emphasizes taking small, manageable steps, focusing on the big wins that yield disproportionate results. Think of it like tending a garden. You plant the seeds, your financial system, and now it's time for consistent nurturing to watch it flourish. The first key to maintaining your financial system is regular account reviews. This isn't about obsessive micromanagement, but rather a periodic check-in, perhaps once a month or quarterly, to ensure everything is running smoothly. Ramit suggests a relaxed approach, comparing it to glancing at your email inbox. You address urgent matters, but mostly let the system work itself. He emphasizes the importance of tracking every call to financial institutions, noting details like the representative's name and actions taken, using this information to negotiate fees or resolve disputes. Remember that even a simple $5 ATM fee is worth challenging. The cumulative impact over time is significant. Next, consider rebalancing your investments. This is crucial if you've chosen to actively manage your portfolio rather than using the simpler target date funds. As Ramit explains, over time, some investments will inevitably outperform others, throwing your carefully crafted asset allocation off balance. He likens it to a garden where some plants might grow disproportionately. Instead of selling assets, which involves fees and taxes, Ramit suggests redirecting future investment contributions toward underperforming areas to restore your target allocation. He recommends setting a yearly reminder for this process, minimizing the effort required while maintaining the integrity of your investment strategy. This strategic approach demonstrates your proactive management and mitigates risk. Finally, let's address tax implications. Ramit dismantles common misconceptions, emphasizing the importance of focusing on the big picture rather than getting bogged down in details. He highlights the benefit of tax-advantaged accounts like 401ks and Roth IRAs, asserting that maximizing these offers significant long-term savings, often exceeding the effort of optimizing smaller, more intricate tax strategies. He advises against overanalyzing, advocating for a simple, effective approach that prioritizes consistent contributions and long-term growth. He states that the power of tax-advantaged accounts significantly outweighs most other tax-related efforts. Navigating money in relationships. We've just explored the power of maintaining and growing your financial system, a crucial foundation for building wealth. Now, let's shift our focus to a different yet equally important aspect of financial well-being: navigating money within the context of our relationships. This is where the rubber truly meets the road, where the abstract principles of personal finance translate into the concrete realities of shared lives. The book emphasizes the importance of open and honest communication about finances as a cornerstone of any successful relationship. Ramit stresses that avoiding difficult conversations, particularly those about money, is a recipe for resentment and conflict. He encourages couples to have the big conversation, a frank discussion about their individual financial situations, values, and goals. This isn't about judgment, but about creating a shared understanding and a collaborative approach to financial planning. A key aspect of this open communication involves a fair division of expenses. Ramit suggests exploring different models beyond the simplistic 50-50 split, advocating for a system that reflects each partner's income and spending habits. This might mean a proportional split based on income, shared joint accounts for household expenses, or a more nuanced arrangement that addresses individual preferences and responsibilities. The emphasis is on transparency and mutual agreement, ensuring both partners feel respected and valued in their contribution. It's not about distrust, but about clear communication and planning. The decision to sign a prenup is highly personal, but the book prompts readers to thoughtfully consider whether it aligns with their individual circumstances and goals, encouraging a mature discussion between partners. The goal is not to anticipate failure, but to ensure mutual respect and security within the relationship. Remember, open communication is key, making this a discussion about partnership and mutual understanding, not a sign of distrust.
Making smart decisions on big purchases. So, we've just explored the often untapped power of navigating money within relationships. Now let's shift our focus to another area where smart financial decisions can drastically alter your trajectory: making big purchases. This isn't about deprivation, it's about strategic spending that aligns with your rich life. Let's start with a classic, the car. Ramit uses his own car buying experience, highlighting the Indian tradition of meticulous negotiation. He didn't spend weeks haggling at dealerships. Instead, he cleverly invited multiple dealers to bid competitively for his business, ultimately securing a fantastic deal. But even then, he got caught by a seemingly small detail: his not enough credit sources. The lesson? Even with great credit, a seemingly small difference in interest rates, in his case from 1.9% to 4.9%, can translate to thousands of dollars over the life of a loan. Don't let the small stuff blind you to the big picture. Next, let's tackle the behemoth, home ownership. Ramit doesn't shy away from the harsh truth. While the media often paints home ownership as the ultimate financial triumph, the reality is far more nuanced. He challenges the idea that real estate is always a sound investment, pointing out the high costs associated with ownership, including property taxes, maintenance, and the considerable expense of buying and selling. He emphasizes the importance of considering the total cost of ownership and carefully calculating whether the investment aligns with your personal financial goals. Renting, he argues, can be a strategically sound choice, especially in expensive areas, freeing up significant capital that can be channeled into investments offering superior returns. Finally, the book offers a framework for planning for these and other large expenses, urging you to embrace conscious spending. Instead of reactive, guilt-ridden spending decisions, the book advocates for a proactive approach. Ramit introduces the concept of the 4 buckets: fixed costs, rent, utilities, debt; investments, 401k, Roth IRA; savings goals, vacations, down payments; and guilt-free spending money. This system lets you prioritize extravagant spending on what you love, after ensuring your financial security and growth are taken care of. The key is to focus on the big wins, the things that make the biggest impact on your overall financial health, rather than getting bogged down in minor details. This proactive approach, combined with smart decision-making on major purchases, is what truly sets the path towards lasting financial success and a rich life that extends far beyond the numbers in your bank account.
Giving back and living a fulfilling life. So, we've just covered making smart decisions on big purchases, but the real richness in life extends far beyond savvy spending. It's about creating a fulfilling life, one that incorporates both financial security and meaningful contributions. Ramit emphasizes that a rich life isn't solely defined by a fat bank account, but by the freedom to pursue passions and make a positive impact. This involves philanthropy and community involvement. The book doesn't just preach about giving back. It encourages you to actively choose causes that resonate with you. Whether it's volunteering time at a local school, donating to a charity like Pencils of Promise, or simply mentoring a young person, the act of giving itself enriches your life. It's about consciously choosing how you want to spend your resources, both financial and personal, to align with your values and make a tangible difference. Remember the examples of readers who have used their newfound financial freedom to travel the world, pursue passions, and ultimately make a more positive impact. They retired early, funded their children's education, or donated generously to causes they believed in. These are not just financial successes, but stories of creating a richer, more meaningful life. Beyond financial success, the book urges readers to consider long-term goals that go beyond mere accumulation of wealth. Ramit uses the concept of the crossover point, the moment when your investments generate enough income to cover your expenses. This concept, borrowed from Your Money or Your Life, introduces the idea of financial independence, retire early, FIRE. This isn't necessarily about retiring at 35. It's about achieving financial freedom that allows you to prioritize your time and energy on what truly matters. It's about the flexibility and freedom to choose how you live your life. The true meaning of a rich life is deeply personal. It's not a one-size-fits-all definition. It's about understanding your own values and using your financial resources to align with them. Whether that means extravagant travel, contributing to a meaningful cause, or simply having the peace of mind to pursue your passions without financial constraints, it's about deliberately crafting a life that aligns with your authentic self. The book encourages readers to define their rich life and create specific goals, big and small. This personal definition then shapes their financial decisions, making the process meaningful rather than simply a pursuit of numbers.